Gohighlevel workflows are basically coding without having any coding experience. It's like a very top-down view, putting puzzle pieces together that would solve a solution for a local company that you can sell to them month after month. And honestly, my very first client that I ever signed up was because of a Gohighlevel workflow. This person was calling back their leads that signed up and paid 2 weeks after. Every single lead they would call back and say, how's everything going? Do you like our service, etc. I'm like, yo, I can just make a workflow that does that for you and all of your colleagues, and it might save you guys in total maybe 5 hours a day, 4 hours a day. That's a lot of money worth. So I made that solution for them in literally 1 day, and I'm still getting paid from them every single month that they're signed up with me. Let's teach you how to use Gohighlevel workflows. It's going to be really complicated. It's not going to be the easiest to learn ever, but you're going to be a professional by the end of this video. I'll break it down for you step by step, and let's start with a really easy workflow. Not this. This workflow I made when I was still starting off with Gohighlevel. I got too excited and made the craziest thing ever. To get to workflows, you just go to automation, then you press on create workflow. You can select a recipe, which is like a pre-made Gohighlevel workflow that you can choose to learn from and customize to your own, or you can press start from scratch. This is the most dumb, simple workflow ever, but it gives you an idea of how the logic of workflows work so that you can understand them. Look at this. Trigger is birthday reminder. Okay, that's basically what I chose. I went over here to new trigger, birthday reminder, and then I went to before number of days, 1, and then save trigger, and that's how I got this. Now, every time you have a contact with a birthday inputted in their contact, then 1 day before that day, it will enter them in this workflow as a workflow trigger. Makes sense, right? And then you can do anything based off of this. You can send them a text message, you can wait a day and then send them another text message, you can send them an email, you can do a call connect. There's so many, look at all these possibilities. There's so many things that you can do, and Gohighlevel is continually adding more and more of these actions. They actually just added, by the time this video came out, all of these ones that say beta on them. They're just brand new. I never even used them myself. So there's so many things that you can do once someone's added into your workflow. You also have a bunch of different triggers here. Look, you don't have to memorize what every single one of these things do. Just take it step by step. Understand that, okay, when a note is added on a contact, then it will add them as a trigger into the workflow. Simple. When we have a task added to that contact, we can bring them in as a workflow. Let's see, for instance, when someone calls in, we can add them into a trigger. You can even specify these. These are very general and broad terms. For instance, call status. You can go to add filters, which basically all of these triggers have is just a add filters button. If you choose to not add any filters, then every time someone calls your number, they will be entered into the workflow. So just be very careful with that. Sometimes you can make a big mistake if you have it way too broad. You press add trigger. Call direction is incoming. So now when someone is calling into you, not an outgoing call from your number outwards, but when a call is coming in, and the call status is no answer or voicemail or canceled or busy, honestly. Basically, as long as the call isn't completed or like no one picked up, then save trigger. So this means that every single call that has not been picked up by your account on Gohighlevel will enter this workflow. You see how I'm kind of like, it starts off as very general and broad, and then you can kind of restrict the trigger to be more and more in tune to what exactly you want. Then we can text them back saying, hey, saw we just missed your call. How can we help? That's the thing that we're going to send back to anyone that calls us and the call is missed for whatever reason it is. If we're busy, canceled, voicemail, etc. Or let's say we don't want to text them back right away because it sounds like it's pretty automated, right? We can just add a wait step. So go to actions, type in the word wait. And then this is also pretty broad in general, just a little time delay, but you can specify this as much as you want based on, you can wait 10 minutes before their appointment. You can wait after an invoice is due. You can do a bunch of different things like this, but we'll just stick with the basics. So time delay. So we'll wait 2 minutes and then press save action. So when someone calls in and the call is missed, it waits exactly 2 minutes and then text them, hey, saw that we missed your call. How could we help, right? So that makes it a lot more realistic. You can even, what I like to do a lot when it comes to like workflows and actions is putting a little, changing the action name to what the action's actually doing. So just wait 2 minutes. And that kind of just lets you know from the outside looking in, this is a 2 minute wait step. This way you don't have to keep on pressing on it just to double check and make sure that everything's right. You just put the name as the action, kind of like as a on the face of it. And then for SMS, you can put, saw that we just missed your call, SMS So we just missed your call. And then now I know exactly by looking from the top out exactly what this workflow is doing. Same thing goes for the triggers. You can totally customize that here as well. So that's all it took to make a missed call text back workflow. So you can do so many of these creative options. I'll show you just a few examples, and I promise you by the end of this video, you're going to be so excited to just hop in workflows and create so many things. You're going to make something huge like I did at the start of this video. So now let's add a wait, and we're going to wait for the contact to reply. So we texted them saying, hey, sorry, missed your call. What's going on? Can we help you out, etc. Then you can go to wait for contact reply. Then reply to the step that we just have right above this. So only one option. And then the timeout is going to be, let's say, if they don't answer in 3 days, then whatever. The lead's fully gone by that point, right? So wait for reply, timeout 3 days. Save action. Simple enough, right? Now we have two. See how it comes out in two separate wings? When the contact does reply, what will happen? Let's do a notification. So we'll send an internal notification via SMS to all users saying the contact that we're talking about here. So I'll go right here to this little custom values portion where this little tag is at. Press on that, press on contact, full name, and then contact phone number. Now, no matter which contact is actually in the workflow, it's going to say their name. So that's what this variable does right here. And then no matter what their phone number is, it's going to say their specific phone number. Then it's going to say new lead called in. So far, we just built a full-on workflow. When someone calls in and the call is missed, wait 2 minutes, text them back, wait for their reply, and if they reply, then take this action. If they don't reply, then take this action. Simple so far, right? If they do reply, it's going to notify them saying, hey, this is the contact name and phone. And by the way, when it comes to these, you have so many options here, and you can get really creative with these options. So many things that you can like notify. User is the person that's assigned to the contact. If there's a person assigned to the contact, it doesn't always have to be. Then you also have contacts, and there's all of these options about them, the contact ID, their date of birth, their postal code, country, whatever it is. You can just kind of pull that from the contact and do something with it. For instance, in this case, it would just be sending it to your clients that we should notify, right? Or if you have any like sales reps, for instance, we would text their phone saying, hey, this lead just called in and you missed the call, and get back to them. So that's kind of what you would do over here. There's so many good options to look at. You have even appointment start date. If you're going to be sending like appointment reminders, we'll get into that a little bit later in this video. So you have so many options here just to kind of look at. So don't get overwhelmed. These will come in handy whenever you think that you need them. Let's say you wanted to assign any of these leads that are calling in to one of your sales reps in an even round robin distribution so that you get one, and you get one over and over again. To do that is super simple. All you would have to do is press on add action and then press on assign to user. And then when it comes to user, press on any of your sales reps that you have for the company or any of the employees. So here we have Alex Lucid and test. Then you would split the traffic evenly or unevenly if you want someone to get more leads than the other person. So for every 3 leads that Alex gets, test will get 1 lead. And this will only apply to unassigned contacts. So if someone's already assigned to a different lead, they'll stay with that lead. Does that all make sense? Assigning a lead to a contact, if I haven't really explained yet, basically is attaching one of your sales reps or your employees to a contact so that whenever they text or call, this person will know, like, this person is mine. You know, so no one else can goes in and takes it, and they can see the text from their phone app or from their computer. That's what assigning a lead does. So save that action right there. Now we have a round robin assigned to user setup. I'll put it back to equally just to make it easier for this video. Press save. And now that we have that, it'll be really simple to add in that assigned user into your text message flow so that it's custom every single time that they call. For instance, hey, my name is user first name. So in some cases it would be Alex or it would be test or whoever the user that it gets assigned to. Hey, my name is Alex from, and then you would go back here and go to account name. Hey, my name is Alex from I Am Lucid. Saw we missed your call. How could we help? So you just built something out that's going to be unique every single time someone calls in based on which user it gets assigned to. Pretty cool, right? Let's actually make this a little bit more complicated. When someone responds to our text message, we're going to have an if-else statement, and this one is going to be your best friend in the near future. It's kind of complicated at the start, but once you understand this, it makes so much more sense. So an if-else statement basically allows you to bring branches into whatever action you want. So for instance, someone texted us back. we can actually just have this sort the text messages and then take actions based on how the person replied. Sounds complex, just watch me pull this off right now. You press select, contact reply, intent type is positive. Done. So now you literally just sorted it out so that whenever you ask somebody, let's say this message right here said, hey, how was your appointment today? Did you enjoy our workout program? And then the person responds saying, yes, they would fall under this side. But if they responded anything opposite of that, saying not really, not so much, I didn't really like it that much, they would fall under none, because anything other than positive has to be negative, right? That's a really simple if-else statement that we just created over here. We could also even make it so much more complex, which I'll show you in a few more minutes. Let's say they said something negative. Usually a business owner wants to hear right away when anyone has anything bad to say so they can solve it at that given moment. So when the intent type is not positive, meaning it's negative, we would press on plus right here and do an internal notification, and then tell the business owner via email, app notification, or SMS that there was a problem, and this contact name had an issue with their workout program, right? So we do full name, had a concern about their workout program, and then you would just press save. So jumping back into the if-else statement, there are so many things that you can do with this that's not just like a positive or negative. For instance, going back over here, you can press back, and then you have all of these options. It's definitely worth looking through all of these, seeing how many things that you can make if-else statements for that can literally be a whole tree in your workflow that automates the craziest solution for your clients. For instance, just to keep it somewhat simple, let's just break through these right here. So we have contact details. If the contact's last name is Lucid, then take a certain action. Right, that's not too useful. I'd say if the contact's postal code is in this area, then take a certain action. Or if the contact is from Michigan, then say something different. So you can make if else for all of these things right here and make it as complex as you possibly need. The date and time also could matter too. So if the current day of the week is a Friday, then don't respond and then wait until tomorrow. So you can take those actions as well. If the current hour is 7 p.m. or if the current month is this month, you can take certain actions. These are just tools that you might need one day. It's good to kind of just look over them right now. You might even have like 100 ideas as you're watching this video that you're going to want to try out in these workflows. So let's say it's positive. We're going to make a trigger link that takes a certain action based on if they pressed on that link. It sounds complex, but it's really simple. First, make your trigger link. I talked about it in the last video. You would first go to marketing, then you would go to trigger links, and then you would make your own trigger link right here. So press on add link. The trigger name is going to be trigger123, and then the URL is going to be this specific URL, like leave us a review or check out our website or purchase this item. Any link that you want would be right there, and that's going to make you your own trigger link for every single time a contact gets sent that link. Let's go back to our workflow, and we're going to see that's great. I don't know why it's capitalized. Would you like to check out this page then? Or leave us a review or whatever. I'm just making up anything right now. Press on trigger links, and then you press on Lucid add to contact form or whatever you want to make yours, and then press save. Okay. Then we add another wait step. Let's do a contact, or actually let's do trigger link clicked. So trigger link clicked. We're talking about this trigger link right here. So make sure you press the right one. And then there's a timeout of 2 days. Now this workflow is getting a little bit complex, as we can see, right? It's getting a little bit longer here. So if they press on the trigger link, then they will have this action taken. Usually what I do is if they press on the link, then take no further action because they actually complied with whatever we asked them. So that's a positive thing. But if they don't press on the trigger link, then we can have it follow up and do the same exact thing all over again. So just to double up on a task, all you would do is just press on the one that you wanted to double on. So that'd be the SMS. Press these 3 dots. You press on copy all actions from here. So it would be the SMS and everything under the SMS. So copy and then paste. Now we just doubled it again, saying just double checking. Would you mind clicking this review link or anything that you like to put in there? Press on save action and then make sure the wait step is still the right information. So there. And now we have a follow-up. So it's going to literally follow up based on if they pressed on that link or not. And if they haven't pressed on the link for 2 days in a row, then you can send an email to your client saying, hey, we tried to follow up with client Alex, but they haven't responded in 2 days. Please try to give them a call or something like that. We can even also have it set with something that's a little bit more practical. For instance, if they did press on the trigger link and based on whatever situation you're in, you can actually have your client call this contact by setting up a call action like I just did right here. So the call whisper would be new lead clicked the link. Instead of saying lead, let's say the person's full name. So contact, full name, click the link. And it's always good to kind of leave your like company name. So Lucid, or like let's say lead from I am Lucid. It's always good to kind of throw your company name into a call whisper, or basically wherever you can for your client, so that they feel like you're always involved in their business day to day, and they kind of recognize like, okay, I'm getting this call because of your company and I'm paying your company this much money per month. It's worth it because of how many calls I'm getting, right? So just always staying top of mind is a really important feature so that you have a lower churn rate and nobody tries to leave your subscription. So lead from Lucid, then the name would be Alex, click the link, press any key to connect. And this is going to call your client, and then when they press any key, it's going to call the contact. So it's going to connect them right away. This way your client doesn't even know what's going on. The workflow is doing all the work for them, and once the lead is hot and ready, it calls right over to a sales rep and then connects them to the lead. This is an amazing feature to have, and this saves so much time, and also make sure that leads don't go cold after a few minutes or even an hour when most people actually get back to them. When it comes to workflows, you have these options: builder, settings, enrollment history, execution logs, test workflow, which basically you just add yourself as a contact to see if it's working, and then draft and publish. Make sure that it's published if it's live, and only publish it when you're confident that you've tested it enough and it's working well. Then you also have settings over here. The first one is allow re-entry, meaning the contact can enter twice if the trigger permits. Usually you can have this off if you don't want it to happen twice to the same person, but it's very situational based on your workflows. Multiple opportunities allows a contact with multiple opportunities to enter the workflow as separate executions for each opportunity. This I never actually used before in my life. I guess when one contact is an opportunity on this pipeline and that pipeline and that pipeline, they can answer as separate, or they can enter it as separate for each opportunity that they're in. Never found a use for it, only sounds complicated, so I have it off. Stop on response, meaning when they do respond to your workflow, they immediately end the workflow. Count time zone or contact time zone. It's important to make sure that you have your contact state or their time zone in place so that it can text them not too early in the morning or not too late at night. Speaking of that, you have a time window that you can choose. So only text between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You always have that option over there. You also have this for email. You can change the from name and the from email and the number based on the workflow. And then whenever someone answers this conversation, or whenever you send a text from this workflow, I'm trying to say, is that you can just have it mark as read so it doesn't show up as a blue bubble next to their contact name. Enrollment history, meaning that you can just see everyone that came into this workflow. You can also see which path they took, like an execution path, which if it's a really complex workflow, you can say, okay, Alex came in here on this day and time. There's a button here that allows you to choose on the path, and you can kind of see where they went down the execution path. You also have execution logs that show you every single log of the workflow. First, this person did this. Then there was an error on this step, and then this happened on that step. So you always have these options to kind of fix any issues when they arise, because they will arise. So this is a workflow that I use every single day. Basically, when you text my I am Lucid public phone number, it's going to put you in this workflow considering you aren't already signed up and under my contacts list, so that you don't get pushed in the same workflow every single day that you text me, right? The way that this works is that we have a workflow with the trigger set as customer reply. We're going to go basically recreate this for you. Customer replied, press on this, and then the reply channel is going to be SMS. We're not working on any other like social media platforms or whatever else that Gohighlevel offers. We're just working with SMS for this case scenario. And then contact doesn't have tag. So you go over here and press doesn't have tag, and the tag is signed up. This will make more sense as to how they even get this tag towards the end of this workflow. So just give it a second. Now, I can guarantee that the person that texted us, it's their first time texting us ever, basically. Then we add them to an opportunity. Now, this is actually going to be deprecated pretty soon because Gohighlevel just made a brand new action called create opportunity. So just to recreate that, you would go to create opportunity. So the opportunity pipeline is going to be opt-in. If you haven't learned about what opportunities are, give it a shot. It's basically like a pipeline that you can have stages for people to be in before they finally close and make the sale. So new lead just called us, hot lead just replied to our text message, booked an appointment, booked a second appointment, and then close the sale. That's basically what an opportunity flow or like a pipeline is. Considering you already kind of set one up, it's super simple. Then you would just see this pipeline right here. So for the pipeline we're choosing, it's going to be titled opt-in. That's just to make sure that they actually give us consent to text them back. So that's the flow that we're on right now. And then the field is going to be pipeline stage is going to be first text. So press save action. Now, as soon as someone texts us for the first time, I have a pipeline that has first text or opted in. When they go through the whole process, they give us our phone number and consent to text back. Then they'll be moved from here to here. Simple enough, right? So next, the condition checks. Is this person already an affiliate of yours on Gohighlevel? Because we don't want to mix up the YouTube text messages with the Gohighlevel text messages. So if they're not an affiliate, then it will continue this process. If they are one, then they've kind of already opted in. So we don't have to even do any of this. Just end the workflow right there. The way that I check that is just by making sure that their tag includes any one of these things that we use to track if the person is an affiliate. Going down, we have, hey, it's almost lucid. Before I can reply, I need you to add yourself to my contacts here. And there's a trigger link like we were talking about a little bit earlier. I'll text you right after. So very, very personal. What I love to do when it comes to text messages is make it as realistic, personal, authentic, and not professional as possible. That's how you get the highest response rate as far as what I've seen. But a lot of businesses actually can't take this advice because they have to stay really professional for their company name and structure and all that good stuff. I am lucid, don't really give a damn. So we're going to make it really simple and authentic. Now we're going to wait for the trigger link to be clicked. If the person clicks on the trigger link, then the workflow ends and we just wait for them to sign up. If they don't click on the trigger link, then I'm going to tell them, hey, don't worry, bro, it's not an IP address grabbing link, relax, right? Now, what is that trigger link itself? It's actually a form made on Gohighlevel that asks them for a bunch of info, like their first name, last name, email, phone number, date of birth, all that stuff, so that I can add them, take all that data and put it into my Gohighlevel contacts, and I can text them when it's their birthday. I can do a bunch of automations based off of that, right? This is not a video on Gohighlevel forms yet. I'll make one eventually, but just know that I made the form on Gohighlevel. I copied the form link and then pasted that link into the trigger so that now we have a trigger link. See what I'm saying? Now considering they pressed on the trigger link and they actually followed through and submitted the link, they're going to enter now the second workflow. So considering they followed everything through, they put in their information and they consented to receiving text messages, then we have them in the opted in opportunity. So it'd be the same exact thing that we did last time. We would go to update opportunity, and then we would go to head field. Pipeline would be in the opt-in pipeline, and then we would go to pipeline stage would now be opted in. So that's how you would move an opportunity from stage 1 to stage 2 with the brand new Gohighlevel opportunity beta actions. Next, we add the tag called signed up. You just go to actions, press on add contact tag, and then you can add whatever tag you want to that contact. Think of tags just like a sticker that you place on your contact so that you can recall if this person has that sticker on their chest, then they're good to go. If they don't, then they're not good to go. So we add the tag called signed up onto that person, meaning that whenever they text us again in the future, I'm not going to say, hey, it's almost lucid. Hey, it's almost lucid over and over again because they've already signed up and they're kind of already here, right? So now we have the age checker. So considering they put in their date of birth, we are going to verify that this person is at least 12 years old. And if they're not, or sorry, if their birthday is in the last 12 years, meaning that they're under 13, then we have to tell them, sorry, we cannot text you. We have to delete your contact and remove your information for the COPPA laws in the USA. This, a lot of people actually aren't too worried about and don't actually take a bunch of time to make sure they're fully compliant, but I do. I think it's just worth it to build a little workflow that solves these issues for you before you get a freaking lawsuit or whatever. So if the person is under 13, we can't save data on them or text them or whatever it is. I'm just personally not that comfortable with it regardless. They're just way too young. So I text them back saying, hi, since you've indicated that you're under 13, we're unable to add you to our texting list and must remove your contact to comply with US COPPA laws. So reply bye to end. I'll explain more about this in a couple of minutes. Then we just go to delete contact and then they're gone from the contacts list. So next I'd verify if they have a valid email. So that'd be an if-else statement that checks for the email by going to, it would be contact details, scroll down till you get to email, and then you would put is not empty, and then you would press save. So that would make sure that they have an email associated to their contact, whatever they put in, it would just make sure that it's like something is there. And if they do have an email, then we'll text them or send them an email actually saying, hey, thank you for signing up, it's Lucid. And this is the message that I send. I'm not too sure what I'm going to send you, maybe a meme or a serious message, whatever, love you, bye. And then I just press send. And then it will have a go-to action. This action is so freaking useful. A go-to basically is at the end of a workflow string, basically. So at the end of a string, you can add an action called go-to. And that basically brings the contact to this message or to this action right here. So if they do have an email, it'll send them an email, then go to the text message portion saying, hey, thank you for adding yourself to my contacts list 1, 2, and 3, message and frequency rates apply, all that legal mumbo jumbo, then we press save. So if they have an email, it sends them an email and a text. If they only have a SMS number and no email, then it will only send them a text message and it will end right there. So when it comes to workflows and texting people and all of that stuff, I'll give you a little sneak peek of the A2P video that I'll be making in the future to actually get your number like A2P verified so you can actually text and really use the number for real. You have to make sure that your opt-out rate, meaning that someone saying stop to your messages, isn't above, I think it was 2% on Gohighlevel, or else you will get timed out for 24 hours. And on your third time, you will get banned from texting on that sub account. So what we normally do, and basically this is what everyone does, is you just turn off, go to settings, phone numbers, advanced settings, SMS compliance, and then I turn off both of these. So you technically need to put sender information and a way to opt out of your messaging list in the first message that you send people. This way they know if you ever need to opt out or unsubscribe, and then reply stop, and this is coming from I Am Lucid. You could also just say like, hey, it's Alex from IamLucid.com. Nice to reach out to you. Just as long as you're saying who the sender is in your first text message, that's really important so that you don't get blocked from sending text messages, because this does happen. It will probably happen to you guaranteed if you don't follow these rules. You can kind of get around these rules in a very slick way, but still pretty legal as far as I've seen. Don't take my advice. I'm not a lawyer. Look this up, consult with a legal professional. But what basically everybody does is they just change this message to say reply bye to unsubscribe, or to opt out, reply bye or out, or any of the words that are not actually checked by the carrier services. So I think the words that you don't want to use are going to be these right here. So stop, stop all, cancel, unsubscribe, and quit. If anybody texts you these words by itself, just saying stop or cancel or end or quit, that will actually hurt you. And if enough people send you that, you will get timed out and it will be actually marked under your restriction history settings. So don't text that, or don't have anyone text you that as best as you can, meaning don't text people that already aren't opted in to your texting list. Going forward, what you can do to easily fix this is just change this message to end, reply, bye, or bye. Just like that. And I'll teach you exactly how to make the word bye actually work, because it's not set up by default. You have to kind of make your own custom workflow that makes this happen. This is what I have it set typically. You see how I'm still using the word end in this message, meaning that Gohighlevel takes care of all of this compliance stuff for me, because it has the word end. If I didn't put end, it actually Gohighlevel would not even let me use this. So this is typically what I do. You press to end or to stop or to cancel, reply bye. Okay, so you can always do that. And then for sender compliant info, you just have to make sure that you're doing this in workflows if you want to turn it off. So make sure you do not screw up on this, because you will get muted or banned permanently from texting. So this is a opt-out bye workflow. We're going to go to trigger. Then we're going to make the trigger a customer replied. And that is going to be exact match phrase is bye, or out, or stop texting me, I'm so annoyed of this, LOL. Whatever the hell you want to make it, this could be a way to opt somebody out. Any keyword that you have in mind. Make sure that they don't accidentally send this keyword in conversation. So bye is kind of risky and out is kind of risky. So if you ask someone, are you going to take this out or put it in conversation, and they say the word out, it will actually opt them out. So just be careful with that. People actually use bye-bye pretty often. Normally people don't say that in typical language. So you press save trigger. Then you want to go to DND. So type in DND enable, and then enable DND for, so enable DND, make sure you don't press disable. For specific channels, that's going to be SMS, save action. So now whenever someone texts you bye, it will immediately turn on DND, and they will no longer get any future text message automations from you without hurting your score, because they haven't said the word stop or end or cancel, right? Going forward, I think you have to actually send a text message, if I'm not mistaken, with the legality of things. You might have to send a text message saying you have successfully unsubscribed from our texting list, and then send that text message to them, and then you DND them. So this is a workflow that reminds people of their appointment with you that they have booked in your Gohighlevel calendar. Like I was saying, when Gohighlevel basically does everything for you, you can make a workflow customization because it's already in the same software. There's no need to go link up with APIs and this company and that company. If everything is built on Gohighlevel, everything just works on Gohighlevel. So the first trigger of this appointment reminder and confirmation text and email is going to be a trigger that is the appointment status. To get that, you would just go to trigger and then press on appointment status, and then you would press on that right there. Now you can also break it down a little bit deeper. So if the event type is normal or reoccurring, or if the status is confirmed or new, or if they're a no-show, or if they're invalid. You can do different actions based on all of these. And then you can even say if they're in calendar and then calendar lucid, for instance. You can choose like 5 different calendars and make it different for each calendar. Let's not confuse you. Let's just make it simple. When the appointment is new, then it will take this action and bring them into your workflow. So the first email is going to be a confirmation saying, hey, let us know if you have any questions. They kind of already broke it down for you with Gohighlevel, which is really nice and simple. Then 24 hours before the appointment, how'd they make this happen? You just add a wait step. Then in the wait step, you press for wait for event appointment time. You press on this. And then since Gohighlevel is the owner of the calendar, like this is their software, they know what time the person's appointment is. So before 1 day of their appointment, press save action. It will send them this email saying, hey, your appointment is in this time. You can also send text messages too, which I like to do a lot. Then when it's 1 hour before, it will send the next message. By the way, this right here, if timing wait step is already in the past, how should the contact proceed? Having it skip all outbound communications until next wait or event start date section is actually probably the most useful option, just because let's say they make an appointment in 7 hours from now, it's gonna skip this and anything that happens here until it gets to the next wait step. That's basically what's happening. So usually you want to just keep it on this. If you're kind of confused, just keep it at the bottom one. Then a 1 hour reminder email. Your meeting is in 1 hour. You can customize this. And then you have a text message saying, hey, your meeting is coming up in 1 hour or in 5 minutes, then 5 minutes, etc. And when it's time, you will have a lot less no-shows to your meetings because you're consistently reminding them. Make sure you do not annoy people because it's very easily able to be done. Normally people just get the one email from Google and that's it. You know, like your appointment is tomorrow at 6 or next week at this time. But when you send this many emails, this might actually be too much. 1 hour, 5 minutes, 24 hours. I think that's just a little bit excessive. What I would do is maybe send 2, maximum 3. And then the third one should give them enough time to get ready. So maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour. That should be the last and final one. When you do too many of these things, it just really bugs your clients and they don't want to even join or even talk to you because they feel like you're just a sales rep and they don't want to even speak to that, right? Another really cool workflow idea is to actually have it text people that comment something on your Instagram post. You've probably seen that all over Instagram and those pages where it's like, hey, comment start and I'll DM you my secret recipe book or something like that, right? People do that all the time. And it's actually just to build a strong lead list. I'm not sure which software they use on average, but Gohighlevel has the same exact feature built right in. So a lot of your clients actually might want a feature like this. For instance, you would put Instagram commented on a post, and this does not have an Instagram account linked, so I can't really do it, but you just have that option, believe me. Then you can have the action be Instagram DM, and then you can DM the person, hey, here is the list, or here is the recipe, etc. And then you can just send them that. So that's a good way of doing it. Also, I'm just not logged into Instagram, so I can't really show you right now. I'm gonna take this up just to one more level, and we're gonna use ChatGPT built into our workflows. This one is so freaking useful. This can solve so many problems for so many businesses. And for some reason, not a lot of people actually know how to use this because there's no real simple tutorial on how to make GPT do stuff for you inside of workflows. You have this option. So for instance, when someone replies, right? Let's just forget everything else. Customer just replied to us, to our message. We're going to have GPT, powered by OpenAI. Choose your model right here. I always use 4.0 for the most part. I think there's like a charge associated. I think it's like 2 cents or like a really, really small amount of money per GPT action. Just make sure that you don't get spammed or else you have to actually go and pay for it. So there's like a really small charge, a couple of pennies that you want to do an action type, and then you can have it do any of the things that it has right here. So you can literally just have it translate content from English to Spanish, or you can have it summarize the text or analyze the text or even classify the text. I don't know why Gohighlevel, this has been coming soon since I started using Gohighlevel. You can actually just do it by yourself. There's no need to have Gohighlevel make it for you. Press on custom. Now the prompt that you're gonna use with GPT is this. Classify, or actually go ahead and ask ChatGPT for the best version of this prompt, but I'll give you a very basic one. Classify the given text into one of these categories and reply only the category name. Happy, sad, neutral. So this is the prompt that I made on GPT. I use it myself all the time for all different types of businesses, but just to give you a simple example, when someone texts, you're asking for a survey, you want to make it seem like the owner of the company is actually speaking to them directly, then you would have it do this. If it's a really complex survey, like how was your class, what could we improve, do you think everything was perfect, or was there anything that we should change? Any survey that you're going to be texting these people, you could have GPT just classify it for you and take custom actions based off of how they replied to your message. So, for instance, classify the given text into one of these categories and reply only the category name. By the way, this is very simple. Make it a lot better and ask GPT to make your prompt a lot stronger and more robust. It'll just give you a better prompt in general. Then, happy meaning it's fully happy. Sad meaning it's not happy and even slightly. There's a negative comment. And then neutral meaning the message was in between neutral and could not be classified as happy or sad. Now, how do we pull the message from what the person just sent us into GPT? Really simple. You press on this little tag right here. You press on message body, and then send it. Then for advanced options, I keep it on 0, so it's more deterministic and less random. Enable chat history, I never actually used myself, but it's pretty cool. You can draw insights, I guess, from the previous actions that it's taken, but I don't really need it for this step. Save action. And then we have an if-else statement that goes directly under where it says GPT powered by OpenAI. Put an if-else statement, then go to GPT. This is now highlighted because you have an action directly above this, right? If the OpenAI response is happy, then you make this name just happy so you can see it easily from the outside. And then it'll take this certain action if the response from GPT is happy. Then duplicate this branch if it's sad or if it's neutral. So GPT, like I said, is only going to give you one of these words as its response. It's not going to answer for you. It is going to give you this word as a response. And this is how you can control what's going to happen going forward. So we have sad and we have neutral, whatever it is, and save action. Now you can make actions based off of any of these. If they're happy, then you can send them this follow-up link, or that's great. Would you mind purchasing this item? We'll give you a 10% off discount code, or whatever you wanted to do for any type of business. If they're sad, then you can notify the owner of the company by moving this action, move action there, or just making a new internal notification action right there. Or if it's neutral, then you could notify it yourself, or you could kind of like look at it and make sure that it's right or wrong, because sometimes someone might answer like, wow, that was really something, and then GPT can't tell if that was happy or sad, right? So then you would have it as the neutral tab right there and just make different actions based off of that. While we're in the spirit of making things a lot more complex, let's actually just text people 24 hours before their appointment and then ask them to confirm their appointment using Gohighlevel. So we can actually change the appointment status to confirmed, or there's a bunch of different statuses right here. As you see, there's confirmed, new, canceled, etc. So we'll make it new because they just made the brand new appointment. And then when we're going down to this appointment, we'll have a 24-hour reminder. Let's actually just make it a text message and I'll build this out. I'm not going to make any cuts here with the editing software. I'm just going to show you how fast I can build this out after you use Gohighlevel for a very long time. So first, it's 24 hours before their appointment. Let's send them a SMS. SMS saying reply Y to confirm your appointment at, then I go to space, appointment start date and time, save. Then we're going to do a wait step. And the wait step is going to see if they reply, and it's going to give them, like, let's say a 2-day timeout period. It's going to be an SMS right here. If they reply, let's move all of this stuff to the right side. If they reply, then it's going to do an if-else statement. And the if-else statement is going to check the contact reply. Is the intent type is positive? Save action. If the intent type is positive, then appointment, we're going to update appointment status to confirmed. There we go. And if it's negative, then we're going to update appointment status to canceled, for instance. And just like that, we're going to do a go to bring them right back over here to get the other messages. Done. So we just made this workflow so much more complex by just adding a few extra steps over here that I can do so quick because I've been doing this for so long. So first is the SMS, reply yes to confirm your appointment, save action. Next is a wait step, save action. When they reply, an if-else step, is the intent type positive? If yes, then confirm their appointment. If negative, then don't confirm their appointment. If they don't reply, then it'll do something different, saying, hey, I'm still waiting for you to answer us, and then etc. So that's how complex you can make these things. I want to show you one more workflow, and this one really brings in the money for every type of business ever. Ready for this? Let's do it. You're working with a local restaurant or a local gym or a barber shop, for instance, right? And they're like, look, I have 2,000 past clients that signed up for text messaging and I want to get some more clients. You'll tell them easy solution is to reactivate your past client base with a text message automation and an incentive to come back to your restaurant, barber shop, whatever business that you have. Let's make that happen. Let's bring back 2,000 people to a business as fast as we can and fully automate the entire process. Ready for this? Let's do it. First trigger is a contact tag. What you do is just download the list of their contacts from whatever software they're using now, whatever CRM, whatever application that they have now. Download the full list of their contacts, upload it to Gohighlevel under contacts and import contacts. Go through the whole process and make sure they're all brought into Gohighlevel. And then you can, at the end of the upload process, you would press add tag, and you can make that a tag, for instance, reactivated people or past clients, whatever you want to make it. Then once they have that tag, it'll bring them into this workflow immediately. So, or you also have the option when uploading people in Gohighlevel to just put upload to workflow or add to workflow immediately, and they'll just be pulled straight into this workflow. You have two options. Next, we're going to send them a text message. First, actually, we shouldn't do that because if it's 2,000 people, we're probably going to get rate limited super fast. Do an action called drip. Now, drip is going to be, let's do 10 people every 1 minute. It's going to send them a SMS. Now you see that's going to help us out a lot because if you send so many messages so fast, you will get timed out. The carriers will block you for spamming. Even if it's not spam, they're going to think that it's spam because you just sent 2,000 texts in 1 minute, right? They're like, who even is this company? Who is this guy to send so many texts? Let's actually block him for right now. Let's do a drip mode. That's going to be 10 texts per minute, or I guess you can do like 20 per minute, whatever you want, just not too much. I would not go over 30 personally. Then you would make an SMS saying, hey, it's Barber Alex. I see you haven't gotten a cut in a while. Here is a 10% off code when you book here. Then you would put a trigger link, whatever like appointment booking software they have, like Booksy or whatever, you put a trigger link, and then you would put code equals 10 off Lucid, whatever. Then you would actually have to make that code work in whatever software they have. You don't have to incentivize them with a code, but it makes it a lot more efficient when someone hasn't come back to your barbershop for a while to come back with an incentive. Then you press save action. Then you would do a wait step for a trigger link. Trigger link clicked. That's the form. We'll wait 12 days. Because we want to take it slow with these guys right here. Then when they press on the trigger link, then we can make a opportunity stage. Create opportunity. Then we'll go to add field. Then we can make them, just like how I did last time, make a full opportunity stage for them. You put it on first text, for instance, and then press on save action. Or actually, no, since they responded, you would make it opted in or like whatever stage 2 for your pipeline name is, and then have it saved there. And then we should actually, now that I thought about that, we should put them in an opportunity for when we first texted them, but they haven't actually responded to us yet. So we'll do it after the drip. So after we send them their very first text message, we would actually put an action right there. That would be an opportunity. So create opportunity. Then they would be in this pipeline. The pipeline stage would be first text. So now they come into the workflow. We wait 1 minute per 10 people, send the text, put them as an opportunity so we can track easily who's texted and who clicked on the link. We can look at it right away on our opportunity stages. It's not necessary, but it's always good to track this sort of stuff. Your clients are going to love it when you track everything for them. Then we have it so that when they do reply or they do press on the trigger link, then we're going to have a opted in so that they get onto the next stage of the pipeline. You can also have it wait for a contact reply, anything that you want. It is really effective. You can take a whole different approach saying, hey, it's Barbara Alex. How's everything going? If they respond, something like, oh, it's good, or whatever it is, or you can have GPT classify like I was showing you last time. If they respond something fully positive with no reservations and no negativity whatsoever, then we can send them, I'm so happy to hear that. Here's a 10% off link to book your next barber appointment. I'd love to see you in the shop sometime soon. Now you've basically just taken the place of a full-time person, some receptionist at the front desk that's calling back every single person that hasn't, came in for a haircut in the last year. Automated entirely using Gohighlevel and AI for you. You just build this out one time and you can sell this to every single barber or every single gym or every single restaurant in your city as long as you have a good value proposition and you're targeting that specific niche. That's why I always try to say it's a lot better to focus on one certain niche than it is to hit all these different ones at the same exact time, because you have to build out these workflows, test them, make sure they work, and they're not going to at first. But you have to make sure they actually do work, and then you can go out and then roll them out to multiple people in that certain niche, and you can expand later. So that's the good kind of plan you should have when you're making any of these workflows. I think this really kind of summed it up. I'm going to kind of run you through all of these real quick just so you kind of know what tools you have at your disposal, and then we'll end the video here. Let's run through as fast as we can. This is create contact. Very simple enough. A contact comes in, let's say, from a webhook, which this is more complex, but you can create a contact that has came in via email or webhook or whatever you want. Then you have find a contact. So if the person comes in from anywhere else, let's say they come in from a webhook, then you can find the person to see if they exist and then take an action based off of that. You can update contact field. So if they respond to your text message, you can change their last name to funny, whatever you want. You can do anything kind of like that. You can add a contact tag, remove a tag, assign to user like we talked about, remove assigned user like we talked about. We talked about D&D. You can add a note to that client's contact field if you guys want to do that for your business. I personally don't really. You can copy a contact to a different sub account. I think I never actually used this before. Yeah, I never really used this before. So it's a cool feature to have for some people. You can edit the conversation so that when someone responds to your text message saying yes, then it will mark it as read so it doesn't show up with a little blue bubble next to it under conversations tab. Semi-useful, but actually does make things a lot more clean. You can add a task to this person. So if they say, hey, I really need help, then you can add a task saying this person needs help. And tasks I don't use too much in my business, but they would come in handy for businesses where there's a lot of like different sales reps and stuff like that. Next is delete contact. Like I did in the past workflow when the person was under 13, just delete, totally wipe out the contact. Modify contact engagement score. I never touched this in my life, I'm not gonna lie. You can add contact followers, meaning when you have like on settings my staff, you have all of your employees. Sometimes you want to limit it so that they can only see contacts and conversations with people that they are assigned to. Now, let's say you want Alex to be assigned to this guy, but you also want John to see the conversation. You would just add John as a follower. So this way, both of their views are limited. They can't see all of your contacts or all of your conversations, only who they're assigned to or who they're following. You can only assign to one person at a time, but you can assign, many followers to one contact. Send email, send SMS, Slack, I never actually used before in my life. Call Connect, we talked about. Voicemail drops are insane. If someone signs up for it, and by the way, it could be illegal to send voicemail drops when the person hasn't given you proper consent, but hey, it's Barber Alex, then you can have the barber himself record a voicemail, like literally with his voice, upload the MP3 file right here, and it will send the voicemail to all of his 2,000 past clients and say, hey, I'm just calling back to see how you're doing, bro. Long time no see. I'd love to come and see you in the shop. Just give me a call back or just text me or even book me on Booksy, whatever. Thank you, bye. And then it's like the barber himself is reaching out to 2,000 people, but again, it's illegal if they don't have proper consent to opt in to voicemail drops. So make sure that you're not going to fall into any legal issues over there. Messenger is like Facebook Messenger. You have Instagram DM like we talked about a little bit. Manual action to SMS. This would basically just make it so under conversations, manual actions, you will see this. So you can add a manual action for your sales rep to SMS this person whenever they're interested in buying a car, for instance, or something like that. And then it would show up right here. Personally, I don't use it too often, but it's cool to see, like, it will automatically give tasks to all of your sales reps, and they know exactly who to text and when to text because they're lined up for them right here in a nice even to-do list kind of thing. Manual action to call, same exact thing. GMB messaging basically doesn't exist because Google deleted it like they do with every other product that they ever make. Send internal notification. It will do exactly what we talked about in this. It'll send your client a text, a call, or a in-app notification using the Gohighlevel or the lead connector or your white labeled mobile app. If you want to get a white labeled mobile app, check the description. You sign up using my link, whatever. It helps me out. I appreciate it. Send review request. This is too simple. I never actually use it. Always do this over text and trigger links. It's a lot more complex and robust. Conversation AI, I used to use, but it made too many mistakes in my case scenario, so I can't even recommend that people use this at the moment. It basically does what we did with the ChatGPT and classification and all of that, but in a more simple way, where like you just here, look, I'll just press on it. How was your day? Then you have a timeout channel, and then you can make all these different conditions like day was bad. So person had a bad day, and then day was good. Person watched I Am Lucid on YouTube, and then you press save action. Now you have all of these like options here, right? Then you can send them a text message based off of that. You could use this. I found it's just too finicky. Like sometimes it'll even add words to this and it won't even say exactly what you want it to say. So it's too risky. I feel like in business, the AI might accidentally answer a previous message that they have sent while asking this. Like someone's like, hey, my dog died. And you're like, oh, how was your day? Like, I'm sorry to hear about your dog. How was your day? Like what this answers the previous message that they've ever sent. So don't use this. Only to like test out unless you're really confident that it's going to work properly. So just testing this one out. I'm not going to lie. I never actually used this before in my life. Instagram Interactive Messenger sends an Instagram message to the contact that previously messaged a connected Instagram page no more than 24 hours before arriving at this event. What the hell? Okay, I guess this could just DM somebody on Instagram, but only after they've already texted you 24 hours previously. I'm not going to need to use it personally, but I guess it's cool. You can add action buttons or quick reply. No way. Oh, that's freaking amazing. That is so useful. Okay, this actually might be pretty cool. If you have an Instagram business that you want to kind of like set this up with, this is cool because it's still in beta. I think this just came out very recently too. So I never actually used it myself, but I might even start. You realize like a lot of these, you're not going to actually have to really use. Appointment booking conversational AI bot. I never use this myself, but this is cool because it can help you book appointments with someone. Let's say for instance, they text you on Instagram, book appointment, or anything that has to do with booking an appointment. Then you can have this AI message them back saying, hey, what day and time works best for you? And then the AI will literally book it and plug into your calendar automatically. So that's really, really useful. Update conversation AI bot and status. This is really made for if the person's like, okay, like they texted the conversation AI bot a few times, then now it's time to just stop it so that it stops replying to that person. You can make it so that if someone says the F word, for instance, they enter a workflow where this happens and then we disable the bot. So the bot stops reactivating or stops texting them and then it doesn't even reactivate ever. So you could always do that. I never had really a chance to, but going forward, you can book an appointment. This is more complex. This one, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what this does at all. Add an external call to the conversation. If you're using, so basically it adds a call to your call. If something happens, then it will add your boss to the call. I'm not even sure, honestly, but it looks complex. The WhatsApp one just literally sends a WhatsApp message to your contact. Although with WhatsApp, it's so complicated because all of the rules that Meta has set up where you literally have to have the person text you first and you have 24 hours to answer them back. And on hour 24, minute 1, you can no longer answer them on WhatsApp unless you send them a freaking template. It's just so complicated. I don't use WhatsApp personally for those reasons, but if you have to for your business or for your country, then you can find workarounds. Like for instance, you can have AI respond to them immediately so that they don't ever get 24 hours or wait too long for the 24-hour period to ever end. I'm just kind of like rambling so you can pick up as much info off of me as possible. Webhook, I have used in some workflows. It's so sick. You can send data from one high-level workflow to a different platform. And then for an inbound, you can take info back. It basically like syncing platforms together. That's what webhooks do. So for a goal event, it basically waits for an action to happen and then pulls the contact right to the goal event right away. So you can have it set when a person presses on a trigger link, then right away they go to this goal event and then you text them, thanks for pressing the trigger link. I really appreciate it. Wherever they're at in the workflow, they'll just zap over to that goal event. You can also do it like received an email event or appointment status is this, whatever. So you can change it to be whatever you want. You could do a split also. This is pretty useful. If you want to send a text message to people, to 50% of the people you text them, hey, this is Alex. To the other half, you text them, hi, this is John, or hi, this is Alex, in a different way. And to see who responds better and what is the best way to text people or whatever, you can just do that. This is just like an A/B split test for whatever reason you want, either for different emails, different text messaging, testing different variations of certain things. I use this quite often in my workflows, actually. You can add so many different fields. And then if you want to add more than 5 pats, you would just add a second split under one of them and then make the math all work out. So there's that. You can update a custom value. Sometimes comes in handy, sometimes not really. The go-to we talked about, date and time formatter, number formatter, and math operation. All of these are really, really, really specific use case scenarios. You might not need to use this for probably ever, but if you have to do a lot of math, you're working with like a real estate company, etc., then you might want to use this. Math basically just does math. It takes a value from one custom field or value and then adds it, subtracts it, or divides it by a different custom field or value. So if you're getting in leads that for a real estate company and they have house is worth 500K, they owe this much money on this whatever, then you can just do 500K minus that number equals this number and then make a workflow based off of that. It's really, really complicated. You probably might never have to use it. Number formatter, if you get numbers for whatever, like leads or whatever it could be, you can make it so that they appear in a different way. It removes the first number from all of them, just for breaking down data in a more simple way. The event start date is basically just like the appointment that you have set for the person, but you can set it custom inside of the workflow. I never actually had to use it, but it's always there as a good option. So that workflows can always be based off of the time that you set right here and not the appointment time. You can add to a different workflow. So when the person says yes, add them to our customer survey workflow or add them to that workflow. This is easy for breaking up workflows into smaller chunks to be more neat and unified. You can remove them from a different workflow while they're in this workflow if they say yes to this question. See what I'm saying? You have that option as well. So, or you can remove them from all workflows if they say I'm super angry. So you can always do that as well. Array functions, never used, has to do with programming and code. I really can't code myself. We have drip, text formatter, same as the number formatter and math operation, same kind of concept there. Custom code, I can't code myself, but it's cool to have. We have GPT, Eliza, I never actually used before. Appointment statuses, we are kind of talked about for the most part. Opportunities, this we also pretty much talked about as well. And you can send payment invoices. This I never actually touched, and the rest of these you probably don't even have to know much about. For an IVR system, you see how when you call a company, it says, hi, you've reached I Am Lucid. Press 1 to connect to the front desk. Press 2 for this. Press 3 for our directions. You can set all that up with an IVR system. What I would say is just go to Gohighlevel, select your workflow, recipe, and then press on IVR and learn how it works that way. Very, very simple to set up. You can actually just offer this to local companies, and they'll pay you for it monthly for setting up an IVR system. So the calls come into you. Then when the person presses 1, it routes back to them, for instance, right? Then you have your courses, communities for the push notifications, and all of that stuff. So we basically went over every single action. And when it comes to triggers, they're all very self-explanatory. You can just dive into each one of these and see how they work. They all do exactly what they say. They're not as complex as the actions. So thank you for watching this. My throat is so dry. I just talked for so long. If you want to sign up for Gohighlevel, or if you're not signed up already, link in the description down below. And I would love to get you to sign up under my link so that I can take care of you and teach you directly how to use this software with our group calls. And I'm always just one text message away. So I'd love to help you learn this software the same way that I did. Thank you guys so freaking much. I want to see you be a pro with workflows. In the Discord server, send me any screenshots of workflows that you have built out and I will critique them and I'll see exactly how much progress that you're making. Thank you for watching this video. Stay dreaming, stay lucid. I'm out. Peace.